So I'm cracking up because my husband's text message is going off. And I know why. It's going off because he is a subscriber, and anytime I do my Facebook live, sorry, my YouTube live, he gets a text message to remind him to watch. But he's out mowing the lawn in the dark. So it's not just me that's crazy. My husband is crazy too. And here he comes. So here we are doing our YouTube live. Charlie Brown just walked into the house, and so I'm going to tell you about my day. I almost took my makeup off. So it's like, you see, if anybody's looking when you watch this, like the creases in my eyes of having like all day makeup, not a good look. But today's message is like, never forget where you came from. And I love that my day ended the way it did, because the whole day was just kind of being humble and remembering how things were when you started. So I went with Dr. Laura, my awesome client today, to meet with Dr. John O'Brien in St. Pete. He's a plastic surgeon. He's been there for about 25 years. And he is really awesome. And it's funny because I'll tell you my real, how I felt about him. Here's the deal. So I was introduced to him not too long ago, a few years ago, by another physician group that I worked with. And they recommended to him that they utilize my services as the doctor whisperer. And I went to meet with him, and he didn't show up. What do you think about that? So I drove excited about a consult with a new potential new doc client. I ended up sitting with the manager for a while, and yeah, I got stood up. So in my mind for the last 2 years, well, he didn't really enter my mind for a while, but I thought, let's give it a whirl. And I called and made an appointment for me and Dr. Laura to come and just, chat, collaborate, because Dr. Laura has an office in St. Pete, and so does he. And they've both practiced medicine for the same amount of time, both the same age, actually. And wow, so great. Like, he was really nice. And I didn't feel any need to remind him that he stood me up for consult, and because it wasn't necessary. Like, we really had such a great conversation, and what a charming, interesting, grateful kind of guy. He told this great story. After you get comfortable with someone for a little while, I love to watch how people start sharing stuff that really is more heartfelt. And he told us about a colleague of his that is a plastic surgeon that got sick with cancer, and him and a few other colleagues that were plastic surgeons just rotated, and so he didn't have to close his practice, and they saw his patients, and they didn't charge him unless they did extra work. That was just so nice to hear, because it was really, really heartfelt and sweet. So, but he was the one who brought up, it was so nice to hear that you guys wanted to come and talk to me, because doctors don't do that anymore. And that's really what we're doing every Wednesday. And I definitely got this feel that this is a great way to collaborate with other physicians in the community. And that's really just to get to know each other. Like, no sales pitch, just educating each other about what we do and what our philosophies are. And if they're in line, great. And if they're not, great. But, we're a resource if you need us. And, we ended up spending like an hour and a half with him and his manager. So it was really good. Hi, viewer. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. And so it was a wonderful collaboration. I have to say that I really liked Dr. O'Brien. You were a lovely gentleman. And we like to reminisce about how this is really how it should be. Doctors meeting other doctors, especially when you're referring business, like, you should really know who that doctor is, like, really get to know them. So very enjoyable. And then I saw a post today on Facebook from Stacey Schieffelin, who is a local news reporter. And she posted this story that was out with NBC. I think it was NBC. It was the Today Show. And it was about this meteorologist woman who is, I believe she was in Mississippi. And she was, of course, all of the journalists, all of the reporters, very involved in social media today. It's not, they have to promote a lot. They have to promote their station. So this poor woman, so the short story is she had 2 children and she had a little extra weight on. And the wife of this horrible man, sent this email to her and said that like they were repulsed by her and that she has extra weight on and she should be ashamed of herself, not knowing, that she had 2 kids. And it's not easy, to keep the weight off. And anyway, weight is a huge issue for a lot of people, okay? And I don't understand why people have to be mean. And I hate when people are mean, like behind social media. Like if you have something to say or in an email, give me a break. We should be supporting each other, right? And loving each other up. And it was so sad to see that. So my point bringing that up was that I was telling Dr. Laura about it while we were driving to see Dr. O'Brien today. And, we really had this really nice conversation about how it's really sad with our children, even the bullying that goes on for people that are overweight. And, it's a disease. It's people that are obese, not even obese, people just have a hard time, especially women who have children, and just not right what this woman said. So my point about that is that I suggested we do a Facebook Live. And we did at the end of the day after we had a meeting, and it was so good. And Dr. Laura did such a great job. And he was like, I go, okay, we're about to go live. And he was like, no. And I go, whoa, no, we're going live. So it should be natural and just be yourself and tell everybody what you really think. And I think he did a great job, especially for his first. And it was just nice to see that people viewed him and that he really has such a big heart and he knows how difficult it is. And every single day he's talking to people that, come in and have diabetes and they need to get their weight under control. And there's this horrible shame out there, about what people think the industry is of a weight loss doctor. And here's a bariatric doctor, board certified, family medicine, 25 years, trying to save people's lives. And they're like, oh, you just write a prescription. It's really so not that. So I was so happy to see that he did that. And I was very proud of him. And I know that he got an email today becoming the first fellow bariatric physician. It's a very, very, very big honor. And I'm going to read about that and post about it later. So all of that said, we talked a lot about, too, not forgetting where you came from. And I remember what it was like when I first opened my business. And, people don't choose to remember that sometimes, like how hard it was. And that's why I always try to say yes as much as I can to people. Just today, I could literally play the voicemail. Maybe I'll do that just for fun, if I can find it and talk to you at the same time, about somebody that wants to, hopefully she won't say her name. Well, I'll speak over it so you guys can't hear her say her name, but I want you to hear the what she hears. Hope you can hear that.
At the Denim and Diamonds event on Saturday.
She met me at Denim and Diamonds.
I was with Colleen Shaw.
Oh, Colleen.
If you could give me a call, or if I could maybe take you to lunch and kind of pick your brain a little bit.
Pick my brain.
My number is 72.
Pick my brain. I just wanted you to hear that because I say a lot that people call me and ask to pick my brain. Pick, 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 pick. And it's funny, right? Like, do you really think I want my brain picked? I don't. And I don't want to have lunch. Now, I will set up a call, or maybe we'll grab coffee at Bel Air Coffee Company around the corner where I meet everybody now. But but it's very hard for me to say no. I'm not going to say no because I remember where I came from. I used to ask people if I could pick their brain. So I'm not going to judge her for that. I'm going to talk to her about, The same thing, somebody gave me a book, Never Eat Alone. I read the book, I understood. So moving on, let me wrap it up by telling you that at the end of the day, I met with some friends and we try to meet every year. We had a very dear friend, Jimmy Marino, that passed away, and it was very special to us. And one of the lessons that he taught me was, you know, if you're going to complain about something, you better make sure that you're bringing something to the table. So the effort that you put into something is what you will get out of it. So don't dare ever complain about something that you haven't put the work into. And I never forgot that. And he's gone now almost, I think it's 10 years, we realized. And he taught us all so much. So I love that we all are still friends and we still get together and we still, you know, say a cheers to him, and with water, because we don't drink. We're all kind of cheesy, and we remember where he came from and what he taught us. And the last thing that he said to me before he died, he had pancreatic cancer. He said, ask for help, which has always been such a hard thing for me to do. I'm very stubborn. I don't ask for help a lot. So I remember to do that when I am struggling with something. Now it's much easier for me to ask somebody for help, especially when I don't know something. I will just call somebody like super smart and be like, hey, can you help me out? Just like my friend Todd did the other day. I asked him to help me out in a big way, and he helped me. And that's that. So don't forget where you come from, people. You know, somebody was there to pick me up and lead the way, and I never want to forget that. So maybe you'll remind me of this vlog. I think it's number 43. Don't forget where you came from, and stay grateful. Thanks, everybody. Chat tomorrow. I'm going to take off my makeup, yo. Bye.